Hey, what's up you guys? It's Nasim here. Now, after using the iPhone 14 Max for about a week now, the one thing that kept coming to my mind after using it on a day-to-day basis was this one simple statement that I think explains the 14 Max pretty perfectly. And that statement is, I think that the iPhone 14 Max is the phone that most people will go for. And I say this because when you think about it, a majority of people love bigger phones that have bigger displays. The iPhone mini series has flopped because of its size. The regular iPhone 14 and 14 Pro have a good size, but the Pro Max is the one that most people enjoy. But the only problem is that it's too expensive. And that's where the 14 Max comes in. It's not the most expensive phone in the lineup, and you can get the benefit of having a bigger screen and having a bigger battery, which basically means that you get the best of both worlds. And even though I think that the 14 Max is the perfect choice for most people, I still wanted to share my experience with you guys to help you decide whether or not it's worth it for you. Now, the iPhone 14 Max has a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR display that in person still has that phenomenal look that gives off a very premium feel. Something that I liked about the 14 Max was how it felt. The smoothness was something that I noticed was still there even after a week of use, and scrolling through the OS felt effortless for me and I had no lags along the way. I also really liked that it had the same size display as the 14 Pro Max, which made the viewing experience much better whenever I would watch a video on it. I loved how I had no trouble seeing it even if the screen was farther away. The responsiveness was very smooth and precise. It basically was as sharp as the 13 and the 14, which really gave me a good feeling and made me appreciate the fact that Apple had put some type of effort into the responsiveness. Now, the brightness was really good if I'm being honest. It was much better than last year, and I feel like the bigger screen is the reason for that, and I think that many people will like it. Now, the last thing that I liked about the iPhone 14 Max's display was the overall viewing experience, which was really good. The resolution was sharp, the colors were very vibrant yet realistic, and the size was big enough to make it a really great experience. And to show you guys what I mean, here's an example of me playing a game and watching a video.
How's a dagger? That's the old Hogan, where we went to Germany for the blood transfusion, you know, the circulation of the blood, then the elbow, all right, then the bad finger, and then the shoulder. Hayward staying right with him. Bryant scores anyway. And you see,
Now, something that I really liked about the iPhone 14 Max was how well it was able to run the latest version of iOS. While I was using it, I was on iOS 16 and it handled it really precise even after a week. There were no lags, everything felt buttery smooth, and it gave me an overall very premium feel. The 14 Pro Max was also able to handle power heavy apps really well, surprisingly. Whenever I would play heavy games, I rarely got any lags. Also, whenever I was using my Google Maps, the phone would get hot and the software was a little laggy, but it wasn't too bad. But besides that, it still had those premium iOS software features like the ability to connect to different devices at ease, iMessage, FaceTime, and all of the premium iOS apps that many people use. It still had that iOS smoothness that even with the bugs while it was heating was a joy of using, and if you are someone who was getting this phone, then I will say that you'll be pretty satisfied with the outcome. Now, when it comes to the battery on the 14 Max, I will usually get around 7 to 9 hours of on-screen time a day, and the battery was still able to last me all day even when I was using power heavy apps. So if you're someone who likes to work or play games on your phone, the battery will last. And I will usually end my days with about 25 to 35% battery left, and this is when I did game on it, and if I didn't game on it, I would usually end my day with about 10 to 20%, which was still really good if you ask me. The charging was honestly okay, and whenever I used my 20-watt quote-unquote fast charger, I would plug my phone up for a good amount of time whenever I needed juice, and I would get enough to finish strong throughout the night. And when compared to the 14 Pro Max, the battery was pretty much the same. So overall, I would say that the battery on the 14 Max was really good, and if you're someone who is looking to get it, then this phone will last you all day with no problems, even if you're using power heavy apps. Now, comparing to the 14 Pro Max, I would say that the speakers were pretty much the same. The bass was still a little weak, but that's usually a common problem within iPhones. But besides the bass not being that great, I would still say that the overall sound quality was really good. Music sounded nice, videos were loud and clear, and the speakers overall enhanced my viewing experience because they were just that good. Now, just like on the 14, the iPhone 14 Max has a 12 megapixel camera system that was pretty much the same when compared to the iPhone 13 and 14. I was still able to get good photos no matter how harsh or nice the environment was. Like right here, you can see my outside daytime photos, and I would say that these were really good pictures that turned out really great. The colors were very accurate, and there was still yellowing, but not as much as last year. My face looked pretty really color accurate, even when the sun wasn't towards my face, and the overall vibrancy of the outside pictures were pretty great to no surprise. Now, when we look at the inside daytime photos, I would say that these were also really great. Like right here, you can see that there was no graininess no matter how dark it got, and my selfies were top notch when compared to other flagships. The quality got much better, the sharpness was still great, and the colors were very accurate, and I was satisfied with the camera. And when it came to video quality, the 14 Max had one of the best to offer, and to give you guys an example, here are some videos that I took on it. So here's the final question. Should you get the iPhone 14 Max? Well, if I'm being honest, I would say no, because you can look online and get the iPhone 13 Pro Max for a cheaper price, or even the same price and you can get a much better phone. Also, the 14 Pro Max isn't that much more expensive, so I honestly wouldn't get it. But again, if you can't find a 13 Pro Max or you want a completely new phone, then the 14 Plus is really good. And there it is, my review on the iPhone 14 Max after 1 week of use. Now let me know down in the comments, what are your honest thoughts about the 14 Max? Let me know. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I would like to say thank you for sticking around, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It'll be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.